Hey everyone, welcome back. I've got another video for you, and this one is another nut roast video, and this one is my favourite at the moment. I have to say it is rather delicious. So if you'd like to give this a go, even though there's a little bit of prep involved with it, it is very much worth it in my opinion. The one I did before Christmas was obviously even more involved than this one, so it did take a lot more time. But then it was Christmas, so those are kind of one-off really. But this one is a regular of mine, and as I say, it's worth the prep because you can get a few portions out of it, which you can actually freeze, and it will last you, well, for as long as it depends how often you have your nut roast really. So the ingredients that we're going to use in this particular recipe are some tamari soya sauce, some peeled and finely diced sweet potato, some maple syrup, some vegetable stock, some coconut oil, some peeled and finely diced carrot, some finely diced celery, some peeled and finely diced white onion, some pre-cooked chickpeas, some peeled and finely diced garlic, some white pepper, some pre-washed and soaked red lentils, some pre-washed and finely diced chestnut mushrooms, some sea salt. We're going to use 3 types of nuts: walnuts, almonds and hazelnuts, 2 herbs, rosemary and thyme, some lemon juice, some frozen cranberries. You can use dried cranberries, but because I try and keep my recipes as natural as possible without sugar, so that's why I go for the frozen ones. And lastly, we just want some white miso paste. Okay, so those are all of the ingredients, and I'll just take you to the next stage. Okay, so first of all, if you get yourself a small saucepan and just fill it about 1/3 full with water, and we're going to put it on a high heat. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the red lentils in here, and we're going to just cook those for about 15 minutes. They don't take that long to do. Okay, so whilst the lentils are cooking, if you get a large frying pan or even a wok like I'm using, because there's going to be quite a few ingredients going in here, and we're just going to melt a tablespoon of coconut oil, and whilst that's melting, I'm just going to prepare the vegetables that we're going to pop in here. So we're going to be putting in the onion, the celery, the carrot, the mushrooms and the garlic. So let's just give this a bit of a stir. So I'll just pop those in now. And the full ingredients list and method are always in my description box below for the exact amounts. Okay, once you've got all of those in, just give it a good stir. And we're going to let this fry, just stirring occasionally, for about 10 minutes. Okay, and after about 10 minutes you'll see that it's starting to cook through. So when you get to this stage, we're going to next add in the diced sweet potato. We're also going to add in the vegetable stock. And the rosemary and thyme. And also some sea salt. Okay, we'll just give that a stir. And I'm just going to turn the heat up a little bit because we want that to boil slightly. Now I will check this in a little while, but we're going to leave that for the moment. Just making sure that the sweet potato is well covered with the water, with the vegetable stock. Okay, and while that's cooking away, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the lentils from the heat. And I'm just going to give these a good rinse and place them aside for now. Okay, so whilst that's cooking, we're just going to prep the nuts and the chickpeas. So if you get yourself a small food processor, if you've got only an ordinary size one, then that's absolutely fine. And we're going to place the nuts in first. There we go. And next we're going to pop the chickpeas in. And there we go. So we're just going to give this a pulse a few times because we just want to break it up just enough so that you've got small chunks is absolutely fine. And there we go. So once you've done that, if you get yourself a large bowl or a medium to large bowl, we're going to place this mixture inside here. And there we go. We'll just place that aside for the moment. And I'm just going to go and check on the vegetables. And here we go. So let's just take that one off. And as you can see, the vegetable stock is starting to reduce, which is what we want. Just give it a good turn because we want the sweet potato to become soft. Cover that over again and we'll come back to it shortly. Now if you come back to your bowl, what we're going to do is we're going to add in a few more ingredients, and the first thing we're going to pop in is the white miso paste and the cranberries. The lemon juice, and a tablespoon of the soya sauce, and a tablespoon of the maple syrup. And we're going to pop in some white pepper, about half a teaspoon. Like I said earlier, the full ingredients list are in the description box below. Okay, and we're just going to come back to the vegetables. Yeah, and as you can see, the vegetable stock is now soaked right into the vegetables. So I'll just check them. Yep, they're soft, they're cooked, so If you find that they're not cooked, you can add a little bit of water at this stage just to keep them cooking a little bit longer. But allow about 15 minutes. Might take a little bit less or a little bit more depending on the size of the vegetables, how small you've chopped them. Okay, so we can take this off the heat now. Just turn that one off. There we go. I'm actually just going to let this one cool down for a few minutes before we add it to the other mixture. And back to the bowl. Now I've just added in the cooked lentils here, and we can just give this a bit of a mix while we're waiting for the vegetables just to cool. Okay, so once you've given it a good mix, what we can do is prep a loaf tin ready for the oven, but also preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, and we're going to use a fan oven. And this is the one that I'm using. So this is about 9" by 5", just to give you a rough guide, but any loaf tin should be adequate really. And what you want to do is just get a bit of coconut oil and just rub it all around the inside of the tin. And we're going to get some greaseproof paper, some non-stick preferably, and we're just going to cut it to fit into here. And here we go. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pop the vegetable mix in with the nut mix, which we have here. Just going to add that and combine it all together. Here we go. So we're going to give this a really good mix and make sure that the nuts are well mixed in. Just do this with 2 hands for a moment. And once you're happy, place that aside, and we're just going to get our baking tin, and we're just going to pop all this mixture in here, and we're just going to compact it. And this is what you're looking for, so just press it down quite firmly. And before we pop this in the oven, if you get some foil and just pop some foil over the top of this, it will just help prevent it from burning. And here we go. So we're going to pop this in the oven, and we're going to put it in initially for about 30 minutes. So I'll just do that now. And after 30 minutes, if you take the foil off, you can see it's starting to cook around the edges. We're going to pop this back in the oven for about another 35 minutes. And here we go. Once it's cooked, you can see it's browned off quite nicely on top now. We're going to just leave this for about 20 to 30 minutes just to cool down slightly before I actually slice it up and show you the inside. So once it's cooled slightly, if you take it out of the loaf tin and just pull away the greaseproof paper, we're going to just slice it, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. And here we go. It really is delicious, this one. And just be careful when you slice it, because unless it's fully cool, then it will be a bit easier to slice. But this is a moist nut roast, so just bear that in mind when you're actually cutting it up. Okay everyone, I hope you like this, and I will see you for another video soon, and any comments please leave below. And yeah, take care for now, and I'll see you soon.